to live my life with lots of limitations and rules. I missed out on a lot of my childhood, and I think that's where my lust for life comes from. I was born with a heart condition called HCM, which is called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, and that's why they shortened it to HCM. You should hear a 6-year-old try to say that. So I was born with a hole in my heart. I've had 2 open heart surgeries. I actually have an appointment tomorrow with my cardiologist to speak about how soon I need a defibrillator or in combination with a pacemaker. So growing up, I wasn't just allowed to go outside and play kickball with the neighborhood kids and my brothers. My parents kept me very sheltered, and I've never been on a roller coaster. I don't know how to ride a bike, and that's all a result of my parents being afraid of me running around with my friends after school could result in me going into cardiac arrest and having to be rushed to the hospital. So growing up, I missed out on my childhood, and I've had to go out very quickly. And when you're in middle school and you're told that you might not be able to go to high school and you might have to be homeschooled, and you're told that you're not going to be allowed to go to college, and it's different. It's difficult to see everyone else living normally and you growing up at the age of 13 being told you can't do something as simple as going to high school and playing sports and even PE. I didn't start participating in PE until I was in high school. But I did end up going to college, and I went to be a teacher for special needs students. But I recently got some news about 2 years back that I cannot have my own children. And it was really hard to hear, especially from my mother. So it's not that I can't get pregnant, it's that if I do become pregnant, I'm going to be high risk. The child will not make it. They would have to abort the baby if I get pregnant at this age. So I was very devastated. I feel like I'm going to miss out on something that a lot of women look forward to in life. And the other day, Wednesday night's kind of girls' night out with me and my friends. We meet up at Applebee's, and we do half-price appetizers, we just dessert and coffee. And my friend Jess has a niece who's 6 years old. Her name is Raya, and she was telling me the other day that her sister called her really excited because she said she got a call from Danielle, who was really excited because Raya finally did the belly laugh at a face that Danielle made and how excited she was. And that made me think I'm not going to have that moment with the child. When I get married, I feel like I'm, in a way, taking something away from whoever my husband's going to be, that he's not going to be able to have biological children. And one night, at one of my other friends' birthday parties, my friend Brittany, we made a drunken pact that she will be my surrogate. And the other day she brought it up and she was saying, no, I'm dead serious. I will be your surrogate. And I just started crying, and there was mascara all over my face, and we were going out for sushi, and it took me about 25 minutes to calm myself down. So there's only one point in my life where I can think of where I didn't have a lust for life, and that's when I lost my father to cancer. It was on June 19th in 2011 on a Sunday at 6:45 a.m. That's something I will never forget, to the point. And actually that day happened to be Father's Day, so that was literally pouring salt into the wound. I remember the moment I was outside in my backyard, and the funeral people just came and took my father's body and took him to the funeral home. And there's nothing more unsettling than seeing a loved one being wheeled out of the house, not alive anymore. So I remember I was outside, and I had my headphones in, just listening to music. I couldn't really leave the house because I didn't want to leave my mom. I didn't want to be separated from my brothers. And I just heard my one friend saying, oh my God, today's Father's Day. And she might have thought I wasn't in earshot, but I heard that. And in that moment, I just wanted to leave. I wanted the ground to open up and swallow me whole. I wanted to not be there anymore. And the first 3 years, every year on his death anniversary, this was really difficult. But this year was kind of like, again? Really, again? It felt so routine, and I didn't feel anything. I was at work, and I was kind of glad that I had work as a distraction. I'm a pharmacy technician, and working in a pharmacy, there's always something to do. There's never a moment where there's not something that needs to be done. So it kept me busy, but at the same time, earlier that day, me and my friends had gone out for breakfast, and they hadn't brought it up. They know that I don't like to talk about things like that, so they knew what day it was. They knew the kind of state I was in. A friend offered to drive me to work, but then I'd have to have a way back from work. But my dad had a lust for life. He was a very fun person. We always had parties at our house. Our house was a place to be on holidays and birthdays and graduations. And so when my father first was diagnosed with cancer, he didn't want to tell anybody that he was sick. He didn't even tell some of his family. My parents had a huge fight one night, and my mom just picked up the phone. She's like, they're your family, they need to know. And so I definitely get my lust of life from my father. He always pushed me to be stronger. He always used to tell me that I'm his little princess, but I would say, no, Daddy, I'm your warrior princess. Because growing up, I used to watch that show on, I don't know what channel, Xena, yes, it was Xena. And I used to tell my dad, I'm like, I'm not a princess, I'm a warrior princess. And so he used to call me his little warrior princess. So that's all.